Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be taking a look at NIO stock. A ton of you guys have been requesting me to talk about the news that came out about this company and what price levels I'm watching to either buy or short the stock at. So I want to show you guys what I'm looking at today, what I'm seeing as far as technical analysis, and give you really an overview of where I see the company maybe a month or 2 months down the line from now. So as you guys know, the company offered a new share offering of around 60 million shares, and that sent the company basically spiraling downwards all the way to around $38 a share. Now, at this time back here, we did not know what price the company was hoping to offer these shares at, so a lot of investors really thought they were going to get undercut and maybe even think that the stock was going to offer shares at $30 a share. So if that did happen, that would be a massive undercut for investors and honestly a FU to the people who have been holding this stock for a very long time. And I think that the founders and CEO of NIO know that this would not be a strong move for investors and especially not for long-term growth. So they were very, very smart and they did the share offering at around $39.50, $39 flat. So that's going to be the price target that I'm ultimately watching because it's going to mean that there's going to be a huge level of support there. Once all these 60 million new shares come into the market, it's going to create a big area where it's going to be hard to break below that level. Now, if you remember the play with DraftKings, it was a very similar situation where the company offered more shares and the stock absolutely tanked. And coincidentally, it looks very similar to the chart we're seeing here on NIO. So I just want to show you guys that chart really quick and show you the similarities between the two stocks so you can get an idea of what exactly I'm talking about and for what reason I think that this play could be similar to DraftKings. Now, like I said, this is the area where DraftKings is looking very similar to NIO. There's been moments where they've dipped down into this low and into this rectangle, but ultimately you can see that DraftKings was not able to come back above the 50 and 200 EMA and ultimately broke down to around $35. Now, coming back to NIO stock, I'm seeing maybe something similar happening with their company if they actually do break below this $40 support or this $38.20, which is what we're seeing as the lows on every price action that we've had over the last few months. Now, you can see we've had it once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times where this rectangle represents support for the stock and where investors are not able to break below. So obviously this means that there is a lot of people holding shares for this $40 level, and it means that this is going to be going forward a very strong support for the company. Now, what specifically am I watching to hop in on a play for this company? I actually did already buy a long-term option, one of the first leaps that I've actually bought in a long time. So that means that I bought a contract with more than a year of time. Now, I think it's safe to say that NIO is going to be back above $48 within a year. I think this company has strong growth potential and also very strong financials as compared to other companies like Tesla. They are doing very well for being such a young company. Now, they also operate in one of the biggest markets in the world, and that is China. So that's going to be one of their main advantages. And they also are the top dog in China, especially as compared to the other companies like Li Auto or XPeng Auto. So that's going to be the main reason why I favor NIO over these two companies. And even in the face of these share offerings, I'd rather buy a leap call or a yearly call on NIO stock instead of looking for another one like Li or XPeng. So ultimately, I'm very bullish on what the company can do as far as its financials, and I'm very happy that we had a healthy pullback from these insane highs at around $60. Now, ultimately, my final price target for the stock, I think it will be a fair price around $55, and I hope that we can come up to this price within the next year. That's where I'll be looking to sell my total share position as well as the yearly calls that I just picked up. But unfortunately, it looks like right now we are struggling to have some green price action and looking to maybe break above this $41 level, but having some trouble. So ultimately, what I'm going to be watching to hop back into this play is whether or not they can break above this 42.40 resistance near 42.50. And basically what that's going to tell me is that they are back in an upwards direction, or at least trying to be, because they have not broken above the 50 or 200 if they do come to this $42 range. But at least it's the beginning of a good sign that this company could start coming back. So I know a lot of you guys might want to pick up shares at $40. You might want to pick up shares at $39, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can pick up a small position, but ultimately ultimately, I'd say you want to be more cautious with this play than anything else because you've seen this sell-offs that this company can have. You've seen how panicked a lot of investors can get about this position and play. So you want to make sure that we don't get hit with a situation similar to the DraftKings one where this support ultimately breaks and people sell like mad and they're scared that their stock might lose value. So ultimately, guys, what I'm going to be watching is whether or not we can stay above this 42.50, whether or not the stock can find strength over the next few days, or if we are going to be coming below this 38.50, then that's ultimately going to represent some long-term selling for the company. And I don't see us coming back from that kind of a loss, maybe for the next month at least. So with the DraftKings play, it took around 3 weeks for them to recover, around a month of time, and they are a much more well-known company that has a lot more potential into the future than I think NIO, which is already an established company, and a lot of people have already bought a position on them. So personally, I think that DraftKings had a easier time recovering than potentially NIO might have if they did end up coming to 29 or even 22, which I see as very unlikely. Now, like I said, guys, I am waiting ultimately to hop in on more shares and maybe even another long-term call if they do come above 42.50. But right now, I'm being a lot more conservative than I usually am because of the fact that this company is moving off some news and because of the fact that we've seen some short sellers come in and really just panic sell this company. And that's one of the main things that doesn't give me a lot of confidence in the other investors that are in with me on this company. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. And ultimately, I'm going to be watching for some price strength before I jump in on this position and risk my hard-earned money on a play that could potentially have some more downside left. So guys, don't jump in too early on this play. That's my number one recommendation. I know it looks juicy right now. I know it looks like it has huge upside, but unless you're holding for a year, like I said, I bought the yearly calls, or unless you're holding some crazy long-term shares, I would not look to open a new position on this company, at least until they show us a clear direction, because I think you can get lucky and even buy a better price in the future if this company can come below 38.50. So ultimately, guys, just to recap one more time, I'm looking for a break of the 42.50 and potentially a break above the 50 EMA or 200 EMA, which would be an excellent sign that we are back in an upwards direction and looking to make new highs on NIO, looking for around $48 and ultimately 55, which is when I will be selling my full share and call position on this company. But if they do come below the $40 support that we're seeing right here and enter into this price rectangle, then it's ultimately going to be a very bearish sign and have potential to break below this 38.50 and maybe even come all the way to 30. So if you are an investor that knows how to wait, if you do have some patience, I'd say wait on this company. Ultimately, you're either missing out on $1 of price action to the upside with a huge amount of reward left, or you're missing out on $1 to the downside with potentially a huge amount of loss that could come your way. So it's obviously going to be better for this play if you wait and make sure you know what you're seeing is true, make sure the price action is confirmed, and you get confirmation that what you're thinking and seeing is true. And that's the best way to trade here, guys, and ultimately wait for the direction to reverse. So that's what I personally will be doing. I do have that yearly call. If you're interested in asking any questions about this company, if you want to stay updated on when I'm buying or selling these type of plays, then make sure you are in the Discord, link down in the description below. It's completely free to join that, and we already have over 140 members in there, so it is absolutely blowing up. And as always, guys, you guys are welcome to go in there. And we also have the TradingView link down in the description, which is the platform you're seeing here today. You can get that for completely free and help support the channel through the link down in the description. So I hope you guys enjoy those free services. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe the video. I see a lot of potential with NIO stock, so I will be talking about them a lot more over the next few days now that we have a final price confirmation on what their share offering will look like. And I really hope that they can stay above this rectangle and look for more strength to the upside and really not break down to these $30 levels, because that would ultimately represent some long-term downside on NIO, and it really represents that investors might have lost confidence on the stock. So I hope we can stay above 40. Ultimately, 42.50 will be the level I'm watching. But if you enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I hope all your plays are in the green.